The editing on this video is sometimes overdone, so please remind me to never make a video on a movie Warner Bros. Owns ever again. So it's been like a month now since James Gunn dropped Superman, and I really liked it. It gave me a feeling so good knowing now that people won't think Superman is some boring guy that can fly. But what made people come to that conclusion anyways? Has Superman really just never had a good modern day movie despite being the face of superheroes? Spider-Man's had his spark in movies. Batman has. Heck, even the Guardians of the Galaxy have. And people found them boring in the comics. So I thought, why not look back at the one movie we had represent Superman for the last 12 years? Hey, yo! So I actually wanted to mention a few quick things before I dive into the movie, guys. This suit is not that bad. I'm 100% all for the Superman in undies look, the vibrant, colorful comic book look. It perfectly fits who his character is. But despite everyone hating this suit, I for some reason have always been attracted to this suit and other unorthodox suits. Now, does this suit fit the character? Yeah, obviously not. Maybe it would go well in like Val-Zod or something. But I like the design in terms of looks. Alright, it's appealing. Alright, that's it. I remember making my dad buy me a whole Lego set when I was younger, just so I could have this suit to play with. Now, another thing to mention is this movie itself. Is it awful? Alright, let's say this. If I knew nothing about Superman, would this movie suck as much? Probably not. And I think I would even have a good time watching it, because as the story goes, it's not that bad. That's why I always say, if you were to replace this movie with a made-up fictional character and use some of the elements on the storyline already given, this movie could probably work. But no. Zack Snyder gets the title to Superman and gets to do whatever he wants with it, because he knows if Superman is in it, everyone is gonna go see it. Zack Snyder is under the impression that if a movie looks cool, it's a good movie. And guess what? People fall for that. On top of all that, this movie's biggest flaw is messing up every single character. I'm looking at you, Lois Lane. You thought it was only Superman? No. No, buddy. No. Anyways, right off the bat, we get introduced to Kal-El being born and his parents giving him the Codex while sending him to Earth because, as we know it, guys, Krypton is about to be blown to smithereens. But General Zod also wanted that Codex. He's trying to preserve the Kryptonian superior race, by all means. So what else do you do when you can no longer preserve your superior race? You kill the man that destroyed your superior race. Heresy! Get over it! He was gonna be blown up anyways. So they capture Zod and put him under arrest. But mind you, before this, he blasted one of the council members. So why are they only arresting him now? I don't know why. So General Zod is arrested. And what does this council do? They sentence him to the Phantom Zone. No, man, we're not gonna keep you here locked up somewhere to explode with us. You're gonna live. Despite all your crimes, we will send you to a prison where you can't explode. Could you escape? Yes, possibly. But we are gonna explode. Not you. Yeah, guys, I can't make this stupidity up. Maybe Zod was in the right for blasting one of those council people. Who let them in charge? They deserve everything coming their way. What the fuck? Now Superman is coming to Earth. Whoa, what was that editing? Who thought this was a good idea? I've seen kids make cleaner edit transitions on TikTok. Zack Snyder, was it you that gave the okay for this editing, huh? Maybe it wasn't, but we're gonna blame you, Zack Snyder. Always, okay? Because we have to. Anyways, we get the oil rig scene where we are introduced to what Superman is capable of. And man, does he aura farm already. The suit is not even on, but the swag is there. We are literally being told that this man is fire. You could look at this and be like, is that Human Torch? No, it's not Human Torch, it's Superman. If somebody saw me come out like that with fire on me, I would actually beg them to flick me up before I rescue them. So I understand why Superman's got to stare him down like that for like a second or two, you know, to make sure they grasp what they're looking at. Anyways, Superman saves them, but goes into the water and he gets some flashback scenes. Even when Superman is knocked out drowning in water, he's still aura farming. Alright, do people even sink like this so gracefully? I don't know. He finally gets out the water and steals some clothes. What? Yeah, Superman would never do this. Out of all the things Why is it such a necessity for him to steal clothes? I'm sure a superhuman alien could tolerate being shirtless for a little bit. But then he sees a bus, and we get a flashback of him saving kids. Okay, well, this is very Superman-like, right? You know, you see this heroism from a young Clark Kent. That's pretty awesome to see. How brave, how nice. You know who isn't nice, though? Pa Kent. He literally tells Clark that he maybe should have let the kids die. I'm not even paraphrasing this or whatever.
What was I supposed to do? Just let them die?
Maybe.
This man is sick. Isn't a big part of Clark Kent's character shaped by the way he was raised by his parents and how much it is emphasized to use his power for good? So what do you think, Pa Kent? Huh? Would saving those kids not be using his powers for good? Or you know what? Maybe even saving you wouldn't be a good thing either, because you simply just want to prove a point to your son, huh? Would you do that? Would you do that to the length of death? Oh wait. Anyways, now we are gonna go back to this movie showing us once again something Clark Kent would never be raised up to do. Yeah, go ahead, destroy this guy's truck because he dumped beer on you. How do you even do that? You can tell he really put thought and creativity into putting all those tree branches there. This is some next level grudge a superhero could never have. I remember when I first watched this movie, I was like, there is no way Superman actually did that. I had to lie to myself and be like, somebody did this, not Superman. But who else could do this? Who else could stick multiple tree branches in a car? Yeah, not a human. Maybe me, I could do that, but not anybody else. Everything is so inconsistent. We'll get flashback scenes of there being so much emphasis on his dad wanting him to hide his powers, and then another scene it'll cut to Superman not hiding his powers in front of people anyways. So what's the point of that? But it's okay. It's for the sake of aura and edginess and darkness and realisticness. It's realistic, bro. You gotta be realistic, Superman.
No more comic book cartoon.
Realistic. So Superman once again doesn't know how to use his powers for good. At this point, we're no longer surprised. And guess what? We're also introduced to Lois Lane. Oh my gosh, this is easily the most... I hate the portrayal of Lois Lane in the Snyderverse, in the DCEU. In this movie, she is an idiot. Why does she act like an idiot? She acts like an idiot in Batman vs. Superman. I'll probably save that for another video. And the worst part is the whole idea of Lois Lane and Clark Kent is not that they're just mission partner, like they're just in a mission and they're always fighting something. It's not what it's about. They don't even have any... Lois Lane in this whole movie doesn't have any genuine moments with Superman. I don't even understand why they kissed in the end. I don't even understand how they came to like each other. Where did this come from? Every single time they have a scene together, any bonding, it's in the most wildest predicament, bruh. It's like Mordecai and Rigby situation. They're always in something crazy. That's all we see. I don't like that, man. All right, I want some Lois Lane, Clark Kent, super, like real moments. This isn't real. She's annoying. Gosh, somebody fire her. Please. You? Please fire her. So now we get a scene of Clark Kent meeting his biological dad. This is followed up with a scene of Superman finally getting his suit. But look, guys, I'll admit this is honestly a really awesome scene. You can tell Zack Snyder found it so cool by the way he made this scene go on for so long. You know, I will give Zack Snyder credit where it's due. And whatever it is, you will really get some of the coolest shots ever. But as soon as he picks up a pen and starts writing, it's a different story. Now we are finally back to probably the stupidest scene of this movie. I have never seen a more unlikable father figure in a comic book movie until I saw Pa Kent. And if you're making Pa Kent unlikable, you already made a mistake. We don't see any awesome character traits that pass down to Clark Kent at all. Every scene we get of Pa Kent is just him being super inconvenient. Now I'm all for Pa Kent being killed off, primarily when Clark Kent is just Clark Kent. I believe this is a very important thing for Clark Kent to realize before he becomes Superman, to realize he can't save everyone. But this movie decides to kill him in a way where he could save him. Let's even put into consideration the whole conflict he has with his dad on revealing the powers, because it wasn't impossible to still preserve the secret of his identity. You could still save your dad from doing this beforehand. Pa Kent is fully aware that his son has powers, and one of those powers is invulnerability. So why didn't he just let his son go save the dog that he went back to save anyways? It wouldn't be that hard to believe a young, agile 17-year-old could go get a dog out of a car and run out of there normally. But no, the dad wants to play the hero, right? Huh, look where he got you, Pa Kent. Even he's trying to aura farm his final moments. So a couple minutes later, we are now shown Zod returning. The power is completely shut off everywhere and he's all on the TVs. Even the languages are being translated across the globe. No lie, this is some pretty scary stuff, man. Are you okay? By the way, this movie is filled up with flashbacks like almost throughout the whole movie. Sometimes they won't even have nothing to do with what's going on. Clark Kent walks into a church to confess, and out of nowhere we just get like a scene of him getting bullied. I don't know, but whatever. So Auraman is finally coming down, folks, and he is turning himself in. So while he's being held in custody, Superman gets pressed, and he also does this. That's like cool, low-key. You know, I do the same to impress my crush, so I understand it. Anyway, Zod takes both Superman and Lois Lane. One of Zod's henchmen tells Lois Lane that he needs to wear this helmet to be able to breathe, since she's human.
The atmospheric composition on our ship is not compatible with humans. You will need to wear a breather.
Except she has one on too, but I don't get it. You are not human. You didn't give one to Superman because he's Kryptonian, but so are you, so she really doesn't need this helmet at all. You just want to look cool. You guys are gonna have to bear with me now. I'm gonna start getting nitpicky, but don't blame this stuff on me. It's so easy to spot out, and I'm usually not a nitpicky guy. All you have to do is, when you watch this movie, all you have to do is just think a little bit. Just sit there and think a little bit, and I promise you, you will find something wrong with this movie. So we get to where Zod and Superman finally meet. Now, before I go any further, I'll say that Michael Shannon is one of the few really strong points of this movie, as well as Zod's character, until he disappears and he comes back a little stupid. You see, man, you could understand someone like Zod in the beginning to be angry that no one is doing anything about a dying planet and that you're basically just being forced to watch your world fall apart. But in this mind trip, he tells Superman that he needs to kill everyone on Earth. But why though? And like I said, he was very good until he came out of the Phantom Zone. I didn't know you could get CTE from the Phantom Zone. Why exactly do you want revenge on a planet and a person that has done nothing to you? This isn't revenge. This is just unhinged genocide. So I'm actually going to talk about Invincible comics that I said I would never read, but ended up giving into anyways. So skip like to this mark if you don't want spoilers. One thing that was playing in the back of my mind was Thrag. At some point, Nolan, Thaddeus, and Mark destroy Viltrum. And of course, Thrag is mad. He has like almost every right in the context of a villain to be like, well, I'm gonna kill everyone on your planet now. But he doesn't. And yeah, part of that was because he was threatened with a deadly virus to the Viltrum race. But instead, he's just like, I'll breed here for a long time and rebuild. Obviously, this doesn't end up working out in the end, but it makes you question, why is Zod so quick to kill everyone on Earth? You know, there's something wrong when Thrag, out of all people, sound more reasonable than you. But whatever, man. I don't want to go on a tangent. Because you know what? I'm probably just reaching. Anyways, Lois Lane escapes, but her escape portal is like on fire. But guess what? It is time to Aura Farm. Bruh, if you do not go and save her. What the heck, Superman? You can't hit woman. I'm sorry, I can't help but see that it looks like he's hitting her. So now we're back on Earth, and Zod threatens Martha Kent, and Superman comes into the rescue. This scene is so tough, guys. I'm gonna be honest and tell you guys, I get chills when I watch this scene. It's like, whoa. Until I see him go through a 7-Eleven like that. Someone died. Alright, for sure. We may have not seen it, but someone was obviously in there. Somebody lost it. Multiple people lost their life. That blood is on your hands, Superman. Superman, you have full control. Why are you leading Zod into a 7-Eleven, into a public area? Also, what about your mom? I know she ends up being safe, but is it not a dumb idea to go that far away, knowing that Zod's other goons are in like a 3-centimeter radius of your mother? I don't know, man. Maybe you should go back and check on her instead of blowing up a 7-Eleven. Anyways, there's more destruction. This time it's an IHOP, but this time he's also fighting a lady, and she starts talking. When she starts opening her mouth, it's a little
The fact that you possess a sense of morality and we do not gives us an evolutionary advantage.
What? She's just saying stuff. What do you mean you don't have a sense of morality? Maybe you don't have like a hero morality, but that's literally the whole reason you're here. Didn't your leader's tirade start because of no one taking care of a dying planet? You wanted to save a planet. I don't know, man. It seems like you got a bit of morality to me. You were in the front lines too. You were his day one. You went to the Phantom Zone and got CTE as well.
It is that evolution always wins.
Yeah, no, seriously, what is she talking about? So that fight finishes and it goes nowhere. So like the last hour of this movie is kind of a CGI fight fest. Oh yeah, by the way, this Sears also got destroyed. So that's a Sears, IHOP, 7-Eleven. Yeah, the funniest thing about this fight is that it finished just for them to go back and fight again 5 minutes later. We don't even get a break. This $200+ million budget's gotta go somewhere, am I right? Not on the writing, but on some CGI. To be aura and cool and dark and aura and cool and realistic. So Zod is back and Metropolis is falling apart. It's not even falling apart, it's like going extinct. So we have another CGI fight fest with so many zoom-ins. This is actually the funniest zoom-in of the movie too. I don't know why this zoom-in was added here. You know, like the meme when people over-exaggerate like the YouTuber ding sound effect because it's there so much.
Who is this 9-year-old that is going viral for aura farming on a boat?
Anyways, guys, it is quiz time. So the question is, what will Superman do with this LexCorp propane truck that's heading towards him? A. Stop the truck with his super strength. B. Freeze the tires with his ice breath so it skids to a stop. Or C. Dodge it and let it hit the building behind him and explode, adding even more to an already extreme death toll, even though he's fully capable of stopping it. Dude, he ends up getting smacked anyway. This is the funniest thing ever. He looks at the, oh shoot. Oh, I maybe shouldn't have dodged that. Oh. Anyways, this is final moments. All right, Zod is about to laser a family to death. And with this being the introduction to the DCU, Metropolis is already like extinct now. What better way than to just end it with Superman killing? I think I'm gonna just go past this one, alright? We're gonna skip over this. You know, everybody already talks about this. Everybody knows how terrible this movie is.
You mean to tell me Superman was strong enough to twist Zod's head, but not move his head in another direction so the family wouldn't be lasered?
Okay, so now he's at the Daily Planet, and that's it. That's the movie. 4.5 out of 10. Never let Zack Snyder get the rights to superheroes ever again.